Happy Friday morning, people. Happy Friday morning. Getting myself situated here. Oh, putting on my computer glasses, I guess. Looking at my hair. And here, I'm going to move myself over here a little bit. And I'm pretty sure a certain person isn't watching, but if she is, oh my God, Tommy, get in. Oh my God, Tommy, get in. Where's Kevin? Oh my God, Tommy. That was my lull of the morning. Anybody? Hey, German Maid, nice to see you. Who else do we have? Spread in Sunshine, Barbie and Sarah and Luann. And who else? Davester and Okie Teacher, nice to see you. Oh, and it's kind of early for you, hon, huh? So thank you for getting up early and joining the morning with me. Sue, nice to see you as well. Becky, good to see you. Abbott Elementary. They call it elementary. I don't know. Nice to see folks whose names I kind of recognize. Folks whose names I kind of don't recognize. Lisa and Julie. And this is the Decluttering, Destination Decluttered, TikTok Live for Friday, September 19th. It should be 9 a.m. Eastern time, is it? Yeah. Coffee and calm. Mama Pepper, love to see you. All sorts of good folks in the house. Friends we have and friends we haven't met yet. Just no haters. I got no time for you, all right? So, Friday. Yes, that's a good one. I am wicked psyched about it being Friday. I've got a busy day. Where is my calendar here? So this was my yesterday. As I said, you start with a fresh slate. And then you've got a day. And this may not look busy to you, but it looks busy to me, but it's good busy, so I don't mind it. What do we got going on? So we're here on TikTok Live for the next hour or so. Well, actually, I say or so because it's technically 57 minutes. Because right after this, we have a YouTube Live. So there's two mints in one. We'll have 2 lives right in a row. And then let me share this with you. The feeling of getting out of work early is a delightful feeling, isn't it? Those of you who grew up in snowy climates, getting a snow day, somebody telling you, hey, things are slow, why don't you just go home? Just feel that feeling. And I am my own boss, so I work for myself. I am a decluttering life coach, and I coach people one-on-one on Zoom, as well as doing lives and decluttering parties. And we've got the Pen Pal party coming up this week. But I will tell you, early on in defining my business, I realized that from decades of working on somebody else's schedule, that the idea of having like a half a day on a Friday sounds delightful to me, even now. So that day off feeling. So I literally was about to say, like, I've got the TikTok Live, the YouTube Live work, but fun work. Then I go and like get my flu shot. Then I have to go get an x-ray and do a couple of errands. But literally after this, I will kind of clock out. I will punch the clock. Notice how my hand, because I did one of my very first real jobs, I literally had a card that you put into a time clock and it punched it. So I offer to you, let's all sit. Notice what that day off feeling is. My body is like, hell yeah, more of that, please. Now, I just offer that to you because that feeling is something that you may not have the day off right now, yet you can conjure up that feeling. Didn't we just do that right now? Yeah, and Laura Gibbon Voorhees just says being retired has an element of those day off feels most days. Yeah, no, too many days off, and I might get kind of sloppy and, just whatever. So I like to have some structure, but man, it's fun to have part of my structure being like, I can do whatever I want. You can do that too. You can conjure up that feeling. Oh, interesting. Oh, finally, my little thing on my cup, the little thing finally clicked in after trying to get it there all morning. Anne of Green Gables said, oh, Anne, being a teacher really is being a slave of time. No more slavery. Not on my watch. All right. Angie Mack, you've been watching my YouTube videos. Awesome. Awesome. Callie Rose, nice to see you, and thank you for all the tappy hearts. I don't know what they mean, but I hope they mean good things. Angie Mack, watching my YouTube videos. That is awesome, because seriously, there's like 800 and something of them up there, right? I'm looking. 836 of them as of today. You have inspired me and ready to tackle my house. Okay, think about this. Now, I am not a sporty gal, and it's going to be readily apparent when I start to speak in the, the metaphor of sports. I don't know what the metaphor of sports is for decluttering. I'm thinking it's kind of like, I don't know, golf maybe? Ugh. See, ugh. But what I will offer you is when you say you're ready to tackle your house, think of a tackle in that sport, that football thing. It's like an immediate whomp onto somebody. It's a temporary thing, but you've got the whole game going on. Now, Angie, I think it's great. I am not dissing you one iota. But what I will offer to you and to everybody here who's tuning in, it is so interesting to me anyway, and maybe to you too, to pay attention to the words we use and how they make us feel. So to me, tackling sounds kind of aggressive, and I get that. But this is going to be a long journey. It is. It's going to be like a walk. It's going to be a run and then some slowing down and resting and getting up and doing it again. So I offer to you, yay for you getting inspired. A tackle is a temporary energy. Let's make sure, you and me, let's make sure that you have the skills, the tools, the practice to show up day after day. Not everything is going to be even needing a tackle. Things are going to flow. Many things when you declutter are going to be easier than you think. And yes, there will be some things that you got to kind of brace yourself for or prep yourself for. Okay? But yay, Angie, for getting ready. However I can help you, that's one of the reasons I record these TikTok lives and YouTube lives. And it's one of the reasons I upload them to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. Somebody literally now years ago, when I started my TikTok channel, said to me, hey, do you ever record these TikToks and YouTubes? I don't even know if I did YouTubes then. And put them so we can watch them again. Now, that's something that never occurred to me, but somebody thought it was a good idea. It would help them. And I said, sure, why not? Okay, see, this is funny. Angie Mack, I have 3 balls and speak fluent ball. Okay? So I offer to you, maybe think of whatever the sport is that's kind of more long-term. Now, Callie Rose, this is really interesting. I want to talk to you guys, like seriously, about social media, just for a smidge, because Callie Rose is like, oh, you have new decorations up. I love it. These decorations have been up here for years. And what I want to just remind you of is you literally, especially on TikTok, you only see what I want you to see. You only see this narrow thing. So these have been up for years. Notice if I just go like this, it's as if they're not there, but they're still there. So we focus on certain things. And what I realized is we talk a lot about it being a road trip. And I realized one day when I was doing a YouTube, because YouTube is like the horizontal format as opposed to this vertical, that the happiness right here is really the destination. Destination decluttered is, yes, being decluttered, but destination decluttered is you being happier than you are right now in your home in relation to your stuff. Okay? And yeah, so I just wanted to offer that. Yeah. And so this is a neat thing because they're going to call them kind of parasocial relationships. I allow you into a certain slice of my life, but I also, frankly, am very private outside. So occasionally I have done videos in the past where I'm walking around the house, but other times I don't. But it's all good. And thank you for noticing. Okay? And what I want to offer to you is, I offer a lot. If anybody has what we like to call like a hydration word, meaning I tend to repeat some words a lot, pick a word, any word, and every time I say it, drink a sip. Now, this is iced tea, but drink some water. Get yourself hydrated, okay? Elle is asking, how do you make sure you follow through on the work when it's just you setting the pace? Ooh, Elle, such a good question. Thank you. You can never make sure. You can never make sure, but what you can do is you can increase the likelihood that you will follow through on the work when it's just you at your pace with nobody else, no external accountability. You're not working for somebody else. You're not meeting with somebody else, that type of thing. I will offer a lot of that will come down to internal motivation. Now, some people have this organically a little bit more than others, but I firmly believe that you can build your internal motivation muscle and your internal accountability muscle. You may not be using it because you may have gotten into the habit of not keeping your promises to yourself as consistently as you keep your promises to other people. You can say to your boss, I'll be there at 9 o'clock, and you be there at 9 o'clock, but when it's just up to you, do you also show up as you would for somebody else? So I offer that to you just as a concept. I thought about that this morning. So I went out for my morning walk. I stopped at the bagel place because I wanted to share an idea with them. I came home and then I was like, oh my God, I have external accountability. 9 a.m. Eastern is when I'm going to be on here. And part of me had to remind myself that I am not just showing up to somebody else's schedule. Of course, I made the schedule. What's in it for me? L, how about that? What's in it for me? So think about this. I've got your comment kind of just in front of my eyes. So let's parse it apart because there's gold in them thar hills. So think about it. You have work and you're setting your own pace. Nobody else, you're not accountable really to anybody else, but you've got some work to do. I've got some work to do. Remember that one? Who was that? Vanessa Williams, maybe? And part of you wants to follow through on it. What's the work? What is the work? And what is it going to get you? That to me is a very interesting place to start. Before you even start to do anything, and this is why I'm so psyched that me of a couple of years ago called my coaching Destination Decluttered. Keeping your destination in mind. Why am I doing this? And then listen for your answer. And the answer should be something that compels you. You should be getting something out of it. And if you're not, I offer question while you're doing it. Does that help, Elle? Okay? Does that help? I hope it does. If it doesn't, feel free to follow up. This is live. Sometimes I feel like I hit the mark. You hit the spot. And sometimes I don't, but I hope to. Alrighty. Now, Callie's from South Dakota. I love it. Summer Beth, Jax, Summer Breeze. It's not Summer's Eve, but Summer's Breeze. And yes, the Gen X. And I was thinking about this today, okay? Rock on for the Gen X Beths. Some other generations are giving the Gen X a bad name. And I will say, not my crew of Gen Xers. We're kicking the world's ass. We are going to change things for ourselves and for other people. Okay? That may not be all of our generation, but those of us who are going to, we are really making a difference. And we are going to show the boomers that there's a different way. And we're going to lead the younger generations by saying, this is how you do it, even at our age. Okay? So, yeah, Marietta, step by step, a more relaxed, organized, and beautiful home. So notice how Marietta just mentioned that. Her destination is, and a beautiful home. Destination, a beautiful home. Now, everybody's idea of beauty is unique to them. But she's got her idea of a beautiful home. Part of it is that it is functioning in an organized manner. It is organized. What do I mean by that? It's easy to find things. It's easy to use the thing you found, and it's easy to put the thing you used away. Organized. And this is the best part. This is the good part. Relaxed. Now, the home itself is not relaxed. Can you imagine if your home all of a sudden kind of dripped like a Dali painting? No. You, my dears, you are feeling relaxed in your home. And so just by reversing the order of these things, realizing that part of your destination needs to include how you feel in your home. Because if you're not feeling good, I don't care. I don't give a shit how it looks if it makes you feel crappy. Our destination is happiness, is feeling good in your home, feeling a less activated nervous system, feeling safe in your home, feeling like you can let your guard down, that you can exhale, that you can spend time on the things you want to. That, to me, those ingredients are the nutritious ingredients that also taste really good and feel really good in the recipe of what you're aiming for. Okay? Now, Mars says, I use Finch app to make checklists. First, I thought it was silly, but it works if you use it consistently. And Callie Rose says, Finch app does work if you use it correctly and consistently. I love that. I love Mare, and Callie. I love that you have found a tool that works for you. What I will say to all of you, though, any tool that's a good tool will work well if you use it consistently, correctly, and consistently. I sometimes get overwhelmed. Now, I am of the camp of I am very comfortable with technology, but I'm also old school, and I like the old school technologies for certain things. So I say, don't get overwhelmed. No, don't let apps and overwhelm think it's the magic solution. Every tool will serve you well if it fits how you work and you use it and you show up and you use it. A hammer doesn't just ham things. You got to use it to make it work. But yay for finding something that works. Okay? Yes, and hey, there we go. Kelly D says, yesterday I took your advice. Did you pull down your pants and slide on the ice? As my husband, not my husband's father used to say. Yesterday I took your advice and did 20-minute intervals of decluttering. Ooh, intervals, like interval training, like they do in the gym. Awesome. Thank you. You're welcome, Kelly D. That idea of like using a timer or on the timer on your phone and setting it for 20 minutes, that is now a tool in your toolkit. It worked for you yesterday. I'm happy to share the news of it works for me. Maybe it'll work for you. So yay. The more you do that, I bet you will make progress. So awesome for finding something. Cheryl and Benny says, I cleaned my dusty ceiling fan and took down 3 mirrors and the living room looks so much better. Yay. Thanks, motivation. Yes, notice what you're getting into it. You're getting a feel-good feeling. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yesterday, I will share with you guys. Yesterday, we moved stuff out of the garage back into the basement. Stuff that had been there literally for like 6 months because construction and stuff like that there. Then we moved like the big umbrella off of our patio into the garage. The garage, I walk in there and I'm like, oh my God, this feels so good. There's space to breathe. There's not a lot of crap all over the place. There's room to put the patio furniture in easily and neatly and safely when it's no longer patio season. Then going out to the patio, and the umbrella is helpful when it's helpful, but when it's not, and then just being like, space to breathe. So yay for decluttering for all of us. I don't just come here and say, I'm perfect and you need to change. No, I'm doing this all my time. This afternoon, we have stuff we got to get out of this hallway that's also been there for 6 months. Now, Callie Rose says, having an anchor point to come back to is helpful for staying on track. Yes, it really is. Reminding yourself, again, of your destination. Why am I doing this? Because I want, fill in the blank. Alrighty? So I love it. Yeah. And yes, Marietta says, I get micro highs when I can find the scissors. Now, I love that kind of like that sugar rush when you find the scissors. What I will offer to you is this. I love not even waking up my nervous system. I know where the scissors are because I have a pair in this room, in that room, 3 pairs in one room, 2 pairs in this room, actually. And I bet you anything when we put something down the basement, there'll be a page down there. I don't want to activate my nervous system unless I really need to. And sometimes it gets spooked. Like, what the hell is that going on? And then I say, okay, is that something to really pay attention to? And then I pay attention to the important things. But many things I'm like, that's not a big deal. And then it calms down my nervous system. Alrighty? Hey, I love it, Kelly D. Kelly D says, and then I actually brought the donations to the bin the same day. Look what you can do. You are proving to yourself that you can do things. Pardon me. You are doing things that earlier you maybe thought you couldn't do. So rock on, Kelly. Rock on, every single one of you. Decluttering is not as hard or scary as you think it is. Parts are. Every single process you do in your life has parts of it that you're less enthused about than other parts. But a lot of decluttering is fun. It's informative. It is really a worthwhile thing. I love it. It makes me, every time I declutter, it is giving me a better idea of who I am, who I was, and who I am right now, and where those overlap and where they no longer overlap. Now, KWF, KLF, 6 guys packed 23 years of stuff today for the move. Wow, I love that you got help. I love that you didn't try to do it yourself. Rock on. I hope that the stuff that the 23 years of stuff today, when you're moving, every single piece looks awesome in your new house. And if it doesn't, please know, everybody who's moving, you will probably overpack. Be ready and be okay with doing a declutter once you get into your new home. Do not think something has gone wrong here. You brought it just in case. Give yourself an opportunity to live in your new home organically and easily. Start to unpack. What you will do is you will be unpacking the things you need on a daily basis. Then when you do that and you start living in it, then you will realize that some stuff that stays packed in is stuff that you don't need on a daily basis. Some of it is seasonal. Some of it is stuff that you just don't know what to do with. Allow yourself the opportunity to declutter even after you've thought you've done it again. Okay, Kelly D. I have some Tiffany silver collectibles. I don't know where to begin to sell them. Yes, you do. I will offer to you, Kelly D. Don't tell yourself I don't know. Offer, how can I find out? Where could I look? The internet. What I mean by this, Kelly, is this. How you sell something is going to be different. What I offer to you is, before you even start the selling, get an idea of what people are paying for what you're selling. Okay? So do a Google search. Do a Google Lens. Look up on eBay and Etsy to see what people have spent for the things that you have. Then you'll get a better idea of what to do. Then it could be something where you sell it online. There may be a local place to sell it on consignment. There may be an auction house. There are ways. Even if we say, I don't know, I want you to immediately start to practice this. Saying, I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to find out. And I love, Kelly D, frankly, that you asked, that you felt comfortable enough to reveal that you didn't know something. Asking for help can help you get the answer. Okay? Yes. Okay, Marietta. Alrighty, I love that, the scissors thing. All good. All good. Huh. Interesting on Faya Foya. Nah, I don't know why you weren't notified. I am telling you, this is a zombie version of TikTok, so don't be surprised. That's why I also do the lives on YouTube, because that's in case TikTok really gets to be a zombie. We'll just consistently go over to the YouTubes, and if not YouTube, then Zoom, and if not, we'll figure it out. All right. So here's the thing. Becky is researching with Google Lens and eBay at this very moment. Okay? So Callie Rose, here's a fun thing, and I'm kind of working backwards through these comments. Callie Rose is saying, I have thoughts. Words in your head equal thoughts. Words in my head about starting to sell some things on eBay, but I don't know where to start. Where I would start right now, Callie Rose, is writing down the thoughts you currently have about eBay. Start with a fresh brain. Write down all you're thinking about it. Put it down on paper. And that is a wonderful place to start. Okay? I have sold on eBay. Yes. eBay sold and completed filters. 100%. Okay? Okay. Elle is saying, trying to figure out what really motivates me. Meaning, challenge, deadlines. What usually compels me? This one question. I have had it hanging up in eyesight of where I spend most of my time since January of 2023. And I keep it there to remind myself to ask this question to myself. And I will preface this by saying, this is not a greedy, selfish question. What compels me is the answer to this question. What do I want? I want a world where hate is seen as wrong and people are loved for who they are, not who they love. What do I want? I want a Nelson bubble lamp. What do I want? I want to get stronger in my body. When I know what I want, that can help me. That gives me meaning. And then I say, is that the life I want to live? Yeah. Challenge, deadlines, that type of thing. Those things are things along the way, along the journey that can get you showing up. But compels me is my destination. And my destination, I'll be honest with you guys, is feeling good about my life, not just at my deathbed, feeling good about my life right now. What can I do today to make my home, my life, my relationships, my world, the kind of place that I love living in? And then once I settle on that and I'm psyched about it, then I used to say, I don't know how to get there. It's not going to happen. That's a pipe dream. Why are you dreaming? Just, be happy for what you have. That got me nowhere. So even right now, when I say I want the world to be a better place, I don't know how to get there, my brain might say, but I'm going to find out. And then I'm going to look for clues. How are other people doing this? I hope that helps, Elle, but feel free. I love these kind of questions. This is why I do the YouTube lives, the TikTok lives, the one-on-one coaching, because there's something a lot cooler and deeper than just having it look good on the surface. Okay? Yeah, and you know what? Even Callie Rose, I need to get more consistent with journaling. Thank you. I don't even call it journaling. I call it like brain dumping. When I feel like I have too many thoughts in my head and it's kind of overflowing, like I'm wearing a sombrero and it's all filled with thoughts, I take it and I just dump it down into a piece of paper. Also, consistency can be inconsistent. Do it when you feel like you need to do it. To me, that's consistency. If you don't feel like it, like sometimes I sit down and I'm like, I'm good, I got nothing. And I mean this in a good way. Other times I am writing down things like, but lower the bar. Use kinder, gentler words. And I'm not meaning that in a pussyfooting kind of way. I'm just meaning, I need to be consistent with journaling. Maybe that's not how you meant it. But consistency is just showing up to do something more often than you previously did. Okay? Now, yeah, okay, teacher, huh? Isn't this a thing? So okay, teacher and she and I and her mom worked together earlier this year doing one-on-one coaching. And technically it was both of them and your pup. Such wonderful people. Seriously, wonderful that we can connect with people over the miles and help each other through these times. Since we have coached together, OK Teacher's mom has had to go into an assisted living. And so prior to that, she and her mom were working on the house. And now OK Teacher is more doing it without her mom because her mom's in the other place. And OK Teacher is now saying, decluttering my mom's house makes me look at my stuff differently. Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. For your YouTube live is, Marietta says, for your YouTube live, which is going to be in like a half an hour, could we possibly do our notebooks together this morning for a few minutes? Okay, Marietta, what part, because there's a notebook process. I do all sorts of things in my notebook. Okay. What part of the process would you like us to work on? Notice the people who ask for what they want are more likely to get it. Okay. Decluttering somebody else's stuff will, yes, make you say, okay, if I'm doing this for my mom, who's going to do this for me? And even if I don't know who, What mess am I leaving somebody else? What stuff, what quantity of items, what quantity, what quality, are they organized? Am I leaving people with the obligation of keeping all this stuff because it's family stuff? Or am I leaving them with the good idea of opening the doors and telling people to just walk in and take whatever they want? There's a myriad ways. There are myriad ways you can go about it. It's coming up with an idea that feels good to you. Okay? Okay. Marietta says, just brain dump and then creating a to-do list for today and maybe this weekend too. All right. Marietta, what I will offer to you too is we could totally do that. You can also, and I mean this in a good way, when I do that myself, I need to turn down the volume on any other words around me, and I need to focus on the words in my head and write down my words in my head. What I suggest, Marietta, is why wait for a half an hour for the YouTube? How about right now, and I mean this in the best ways, temporarily turn down the volume of me. Have me there, with you, keeping you company, but turn down the volume on your TikTok, and why don't you just start that right now? Why wait? Why wait? Give it a shot. See how it works. All right? Now, Mama Love P says, hey, good morning. Good morning. Been having tech issues. Is there a decluttering session soon? Okay. Mama Love P, so what do we got going on? We have a decluttering. So unless you can't get to the internet. So first of all, let's back it up. There is always a schedule for TikTok lives and YouTube lives. We also do decluttering parties, and there's a pen pal party coming up. So we have a lot of stuff going on. If you've been having technical issues, there's one place on the internet that gives you all of that information, and it's what I call the secret page. And the secret page is on the internet, but only the people that are part of the email group know where to look. So Mama Love P, are you in the email group? Okay. If you are, and you're not I don't send out email. Sometimes I'll send a reminder. Like, for example, this is your verbal reminder. Today's Friday. I got stuff going, wicked fun stuff going on this weekend. So there's no Destination Decluttered anythings. Monday. So I'm just going to go to the secret page that you have access to. Monday, September 22nd, 8 a.m. TikTok Live, 9 a.m. Declutter Party, 8 p.m. YouTube. Tuesday, TikTok, YouTube, Pen Pal Party. Wednesday, TikTok, YouTube. Thursday, TikTok, YouTube. And then I go away for a few days. All right? So I highly recommend when you want to be aware of what's going on and be able to participate in it because you're aware that it's going on, the best thing to do is join the Destination Decluttered free, low-key email group. How do you do that? You go to my website, destinationdecluttered.com. Scroll to the bottom of the homepage. You're going to see a form. You put your email address in there. You put in a little code that says, I am not a robot. And then you hit join and you're part of the group. The immediate thing that happens right then is that you get an email with a hyperlink, a link. You can see what the link looks like. You can click it and go there, and you can bookmark it too. That will always be the primary source of all the good stuff because I don't want to clutter up your email box. Okay? I don't want to clutter up your email box. Okay? So, I hope that helps people who are already in the part of the group. People who are curious about joining the group. It's all good stuff. Good people. Digging it. All right. DoCD, I feel frustrated because I've been doing all to find new clients for my video editing. All right. Well, keep on at it. Keep at it. Okay. Yeah. And Callie Rose says body doubling is so beneficial, especially for us ADHDers. Yes. It can kind of help you focus. And it's a bit of that external accountability. So you find the tools that work for you. All right? Find the tools that work for you and use them. If body doubling works, and this is one of the things I will share that I think is going to be, I have a good feeling about this. So I mentioned the Destination Decluttered email group. So that's a big group of people. There is a smaller group of those people who have said, I would like to connect with some of these people in the group. So I put out a call and I said, does anybody want to connect with one another? And we have a smaller group there who says, I want to connect. Not everybody does. And that's cool. But people who want to connect, there is an opportunity, I think, for you to kind of build some relationships. And I mean this, on any level that you want, but that you could find a declutter buddy, that you could find somebody in that group to be like, you could send out an email to the people in the Pen Pal Club, that's what I'm calling it, to say, does anybody want to declutter on the morning of, September 23rd? I want to declutter. Would anybody like to join me? Would anybody like to body double with me? So there are ways that you can find the resources and use the resources that make it easier for you. Okay? Good stuff. I love it. Mayor is saying, and Mar, I apologize. My husband and I are realizing, nobody wants our stuff. We're reevaluating and letting go. I love that you're doing that. And the cool thing is, Mayor, you and your husband wanted some of your stuff. You enjoyed maybe accumulating it, but knowing that you're not saving it for anybody else can be very freeing. You can decide on what you want, and if you guys don't want it, you can easily let it go. So I love that you're doing that. Yay, Kara's Garden. I bet you have a sassy new haircut. I love it. Getting ready for a garden tour this morning. Awesome. Picking up and decluttering. Yay. Good stuff. Okay. Now, Sarah T says, I look at my destination email every day to see your schedule. It's so helpful. Yeah. So, again, there's that secret page on the website or on the internet that's always going to be the best. An email will get out of date. I always am updating that secret page all the time. It is fresh. Okay. Lake Life Lady is asking about body doubling. Okay. So body doubling is a concept in the ADHD world. And I think it applies to a lot of people. That when you discover that when you try to do something on your own, you're not getting done what you want to get done. You're becoming easily distracted. You're going down the rabbit hole. You're not getting motivated. All of those things that you say up here you want to do it, but then something else happens when you're kind of left to your own devices. Body doubling is really just getting a buddy. It's somebody else being there with you and either doing something with you or just sitting there sometimes. I've done that, when I've just sat there in the room with my husband as he goes and organizes his stuff. I'm a bit there to be like, come on, let's do it. Alrighty, it just means not feeling so alone, and there can be something soothing about having somebody else there with you doing it. So that's what body doubling is. And it can happen physically, but it doesn't need to happen physically. It can be something that we use the good of the connectivity of the internet to use. Alrighty. Mayor says, I was pleasantly surprised to accidentally come across what you might be doing this weekend. Yeah. And so totally, I am going on a Mrs. Roper romp. I'm going to dress up in a caftan and a red wig with a friend of mine from junior high. And we're going to go play bingo and sing karaoke and probably do a conga line. We're going to have wicked fun. Because that's my idea of fun. I have friends who are up in Maine and they're biking and hiking and stuff. They're doing their stuff. I'm doing my stuff. Finding out what is fun to you. Yeah, so Damn It Donna and Hawkeye, look to see if there's one of those in your area. It's kind of like a national thing. And the money that you pay to go, usually everybody donates it, after you cover expenses to like a good cause. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what do I want? Destination, I want to go to the Roper Romp. It has happened 2 years in a row in my town, and I had not been able to go. And I realized that it was giving me, not anxiety, but I was frustrated. But I used that frustration to make me realize that this was important to me, that it was something I really wanted to do. So I put it on my calendar, and I blocked it out. I didn't let anything else get in the way of me doing that thing. Okay? I say that to you because when you have a destination you really want to get to, put it on your calendar. Write it down somewhere. And then create boundaries. Make sure that you don't let things get in your way. Things, people, activities. I'm not saying being totally I was going to say driven, which is kind of funny because I use that driving metaphor. But make sure that you're not allowing things that don't matter so much to get in the way of what matters to you. And also make sure that you are not, what do I want to say? Always putting yourself second. saying, well, this comes first, that comes first, I don't matter, I come second. No, let's bump you up to the top of the line. It doesn't mean that you're ignoring everybody else, but you're putting things into perspective. And many of us of many earlier generations were told and taught and reinforced with the idea that doing what you wanted to was greedy and selfish. People judged you on it. I think that's because they're jealous. I do. We don't have to be like that anymore. The We Don't Care Club or whatever it is, We Do Not Care Anymore Club, which I freaking love, even though I'm probably getting the name wrong. Put yourself first. We have been told, oh no, put your family first, put your husband first, put the church first, put your community first. You don't matter, is the inference. You can live on scraps, feed everybody well, and oh, don't mind me. I'm just here, exhausted and eating snacks, but I'll be fine. I call bullshit on that. Okay? I call bullshit on that. And I'm not saying it needs to be this all me, F the rest of you. But there is a balance. There is a better calibration. There's a better balance of that can work. Okay? So On Fire For You says, I still do it. Okay. And if you like doing it, I'm not here to change minds that don't want to be changed. I do not get into convincing mode. That's just a waste of my energy. But what I will offer to you, if you like how it feels when you do it On Fire For You, if you really like how it feels, then do it. Because it feels good, and that's the destination you're going for. But if you still do it and you don't like it, if you're getting frustrated and resentful and quick-tempered and angry and saying, what about me? What about when do I get to do my stuff? Then let's change what you do. Even by 5, 10, 15, 20, 25%. Okay? There we go. Elaine says, I feel so much better when I do me first. I was a leftover eater before, but now I eat first. You know? Alrighty. Choose Inner Peace is asking for help with my bathroom products organization. Okay, but before we organize it, organizing it, what I would say, choose Inner Peace. Okay? Categories. Categories are the first step in organizing. So, Inner Peace. This is how I would do it, okay? Because my bathroom is small and I have very few surfaces to sort things out on. I would go into my bathroom and I would have a container and I would categorize things. So if I have too many, not too many because that's a judgment, I would notice how many skin creams I have and I would put them in a container and I would bring them out to my kitchen table and then I would dump out that container and I would look at just my face creams. And then I would say, okay, which are the ones I use? Which are the ones I don't use? Those are two subcategories. The clutter is usually the stuff you don't use, okay? And my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered, okay? So I offer to you categorize things, pull out one category. Do not, I don't care what Marie in her condo says, do not pull everything out of someplace unless you were actually forced to, like we were, because we got the whole basement floor redone. I do not recommend that at all. We chunk things down here. So chunking it down means kind of taking it in smaller bits because that makes it more manageable for your brain and your decision making. Go in there, pull out a category, bring it somewhere, and we talk about there's surface clutter, stored clutter, and sentimental clutter. Is what I talk about. So you're talking about stuff that's stored in your bathroom. If you don't have a surface to spread out on, bring it to the place where you have a horizontal surface, because when you store things, notice organizing typically makes things take up less room, but you can't easily see things if you don't, unless it's easier to see what you have and make a decision if you can spread them out. So use like your kitchen table. The floor is a great one if you have no surfaces. And then notice what you're not using, but why are you still keeping it? Okay, so you already did that. Okay, awesome. What I would then say is, let's say you have done that. So you've done that for every single one of your categories, and you have been easily able to kind of go through the process of, I don't use this, and I'm going to either throw it away or give it to somebody, or I'm going to use it but not buy it again. German Maid says, I gave myself a use date. Use by this date. Okay? As far as the organization goes, this is how I like to do it. Is I like to keep the things I use on a daily basis in one container. So that's where it goes from being, like makeup and all this. I put the stuff that I use on a daily basis in this little bucket. And every time I take a shower, I just bring this little bucket and I put it on top of the toilet. And that has all the stuff I do for a day. And when I'm done, it goes back in the bucket. Some things I don't use every day, like, big things or like things of, like really high SPFs and stuff when we go to the beach or the pool, or my toiletries for travel, or even kind of, I say seasonal things. Like sometimes I will save, frankly, some of the makeup that I bought that didn't work for every day. Sometimes I'll save it for costumes, like for this Roper Romp or Halloween or something. So that stuff goes into another container for things that I don't use as often. And then notice I said, I will take a look at how much I use on a daily basis. And then I find a container that easily fits that. It's not too small. It's not too big. It's just right. Does that help choose inner peace? Okay. Notice though, when I describe that very green light process where everything worked out and then all you're left with is stuff you use, things like that. Notice I did not put any notations in there for where things go wrong. Okay, cool. I'm glad to help you. You're welcome. Things will go, and I don't say wrong, but you will get stuck. Many of us will get stuck. Okay? Many of us will get stuck with a thought. A thought will jam us up like, bricks on like a big brick in the front of your car will stop you when you have a thought that says, oh shit, you're right. I did spend a lot of money on this face cream and I'm not really using it, but I feel bad. I feel tension because I don't want it, but I spent a lot of money for it, and I feel wasteful if I throw it away, but I'm not using it. So notice there's that back and forth. Okay? Yeah. So notice, like On Fire says, I love your analogies, especially destination driven with rear view kids in the back seat. Yeah, so your backseat drivers, think about the people in real life who are your backseat drivers. They're the ones that say, don't do it the way you want, do it the way I want. And I will confess, I do this in real life to my husband sometimes. I work on it though. Okay? So I will say this. Your backseat driver is the one that tells you the story to encourage you, to discourage you from just letting go of what's not working for you that you don't use. Yeah. Okie Teacher says, does anyone know what the shelf life is on face creams? Probably not as long as we want it to be. Because every time you use it, depending upon the way it is packaged, you could introduce bacteria to it. And especially things that are cream-based, kind of like, how milk goes spoiled and it separates, it could do that too. Okay, Teacher, I would highly recommend, this is when the Google is going to help you. Avon Skin Cream, shelf life. You're not the first person to be curious about there. There may be an answer, okay? But notice where the tension comes up. When you're feeling good and you're letting go of stuff and you're keeping this and you're in the flow, you are driving along. Things are quiet in the back seat. But the things that may jam you up is a story that makes you feel bad about letting go of something for a specific reason, either that it was sentimental or that it cost money. Does this resonate with anybody? It resonates with me. Those are the two that I get. That it's either, oh, that used to be so-and-so's, or, man, you spent a lot of money on that. You mean you're not using it? Okay. Yeah. Hey, I love this. So people are learning about these things. Judy says, stuff I use sometimes goes in a different container. Right. There's the everyday and then there's the sometimes. Love it. Yes, Sarah is saying donating helps me not to feel so wasteful. So if you find things that you don't want, but you've spent money on, a way to quiet down that backseat driver is saying, I'm not throwing it in the trash. I am donating it to people. But then please, everybody, learn from your purchases that did not work out for you. So you're a little bit more mindful the next time. Kind of like getting divorced and getting remarried again. Okay? Notice what you didn't like about that thing. Right now, I will share with you guys, I spent more money than I ever have in my entire life on a thing of face cream over the summer because it was in a certain situation and I wanted to see what it felt like to spend that kind of money on a face cream. I will not do that again for a couple of reasons. This one in particular, I don't like the smell of it. It smells like old ladies to me. And I don't, no offense to old ladies, but it smells like an old lady face cream. So now I know when I go to buy something to make sure I like the smell of it. If I don't like the smell, I will not use it. Also, this happens to be in a very heavy glass bottle. I know it's supposed to be like, oh, this is so great, but it's just weighing down my bucket. So I will use this stuff because it's not bad, but notice what didn't work out for you so that the next time you go to make a purchase, you know better about what you like. What do I want? I want a face cream that doesn't smell. I want a face cream in a lighter bottle. I want a face cream that doesn't cost as much as that one. Learn about yourself and you will make better decisions. And the better decisions will get you what you want. Yay! Okay, we got about 8 minutes here and then we're hopping over to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. I actually already have it kind of queued up. I'm going to make sure, let me slide it over to this screen right here. That will be for about an hour. So if you like what you're hearing, I do this pretty much every day. Different days of the week are different times of the day, and no week is the same because I like to keep things flexible. I grew up working retail. Every 2 weeks we had a different schedule. I freaking loved that. I cried when I had to get a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 job because I hate that overly structured thing. I felt really fenced in. So I don't structure my life that way. But because the schedule is all different, that's why it's so helpful to you if you want to show up again to know when I'm going to be there. And so I make a schedule, and the schedule is part of that page I was talking about on my website, hidden and only available to the people who are part of the email group. If you would like to join the email group, I don't spam you. It is really low key. Every email I send out, nothing is scheduled for the most part. It's when I feel like I've got some cool stuff I want to let you know about, I will send you an email just like a friend. It's not in some sort of pipeline or funnel. I freaking hate that stuff. So I don't do it. Isn't it great to not do what you don't like? Laura Gibbon Voorhees says, the top drawer of the office supplies is organized. And cue the Chuck Mangione, may he rest in peace. It feels so good. Cue the Neil Diamond at Fenway. So good, so good. Neil and Chuck, it feels so good to open the drawer and be able to see everything easily. Love it. Love it. Liberty Lynn is asking, how is the best way to get rid of sentimental knickknacks? I don't want to say the best way. I don't think best is a really interesting word. Here are a few ways that I recommend doing it. Sentimental knickknacks are items that tell you a story. So one of the things you might say is, does this item tell somebody else that story? I'm thinking of family and friends. So for example, if I have like this Toby jug that looks like a pirate that I know was my dad's from when he was like in his 20s, because I don't know why, because my family's weird. I know that was dad's. Nobody else in the world except my family would know that is dad's. So if I don't want it, I will offer it to the person who might want it, who knows the story of it. So notice, one way you can declutter yourself from sentimental knickknacks is to offer them to somebody who might want that story. The other thing too is, the neat thing is if nobody else, if the story of that thing doesn't matter to anybody else, oh my God, it's so much easier to just donate it. And this is fun. This is something I did this week and it's still here, so I'll do it. So think about this concept, sentimental knickknacks. Okay, here's a knickknack. This is an item. This is something on a shelf. It is just sitting there on a shelf at a store until you buy it. And then when you buy it, you bring it home. Then you have a story. Now that story may be, I bought this at Target. The story may be, I was given this by my grandmother. The story may be, I bought this in Ireland when I went there with my mother and sisters and we went to Avoca. Whatever it is, suddenly your brain, notice this process. You have written a story because you could write it down, right? So you know its words. You have written a story about the item. you have, so here you've written a story, and then you attach the story to the item. So suddenly it no longer is just a mug on a shelf. It is a mug on your shelf with a story. But notice this. You are the one who created the story and attached it. That means you can change the story and detach the story from the item. If you want to keep the story, keep it. Write it down somewhere else. Take a picture of the item. If you don't want the story, you can crumple it up and throw the story away. And then this goes back to being, I'm just a bill. I'm just a mug. Yes, I'm only a mug. And then you can easily donate it somewhere else. Yes. There we go. L. So that's how it goes. That's a very slow way of describing it, but it's good to slow down and notice these steps of the process. When we try to rush through it, you may miss something important and you may regret something that you could avoid regretting if you just took a little bit longer. You know that Take Your Time, Do It Right song? I would put it on right now on my other screen right here, but I'd probably get dinged for like using somebody else's music. Okay? Yes, keep the story, not the knick-knack. Photograph the item if you want the visual clue. You know what I mean? That's like, oh, remember that? That's the thing that was at Grammy's house. But you don't necessarily need to keep the thing. And we are lucky enough, you guys, to all live in a technologically advanced area that you can easily take pictures of those things. And then if you take the picture and you don't want the picture anymore, you just delete it. Digital clutter is different from physical clutter. I'm a material girl, so I live in the material world, as it were. So I like to help people with their physical clutter, but the concept is the same with digital clutter. Okay? So I hope that helps. I hope that helps. So a couple of things. We've got about 2 minutes here. I know I may sound like a broken record, but I always want to make sure that anybody who's new, who's just tuning in, knows what's going on. Beth, destination decluttered. Destination, like a road trip. Decluttered. Destination happiness. Okay? Road trip. Destination decluttered. If you want to get there and you don't know how to get there, I am a decluttering life coach. I show up and I do TikTok lives until TikTok's not around anymore. I'll do YouTube lives. I do one-on-one coaching with people. If you're interested in that, you can find out information and sign up for a consultation on my website. What else? We're about to go into a YouTube live. After that, we've got TikTok lives and YouTube lives next week, a declutter party, a pen pal party, and you're not the only one who's struggling with the clutters. You're not. Man, I could write a thesis, but I don't care enough to do it. So much of the fact that we're cluttering has nothing to do with us personally. It's the world we live in and what we've been taught and what we have access to and how that has rapidly changed, but our brains are still working in a scarcity model a long time, okay? Now, obviously, I've got like 30 seconds left here, so I'm going to sign off. That's a big concept to dive into, so I won't get into it now, but just think about that. And for some of you who are hopping over from here to the YouTube channel, as you're hopping over, think about what you would like to be some topics of conversation in the Destination Decluttered YouTube live, because the YouTube live has far fewer people in it, so we can get into some really interesting things, okay? Destination Decluttered, signing off. I hope you have an awesome weekend, and I will see you on the other side. Be good to yourself and be good to each other.